Hello everyone, welcome back to the studio. Very hot studio. I'm not sure how long I can stay in here. I might have to find somewhere else to do some gel printing today. Got the gel plate out to print on some of these ferns that I already printed on there just by adding paint and what I'm printing on. I'm going to try it out, make some collage papers, maybe print straight onto the canvas with the gel plate. Well, let's see what happens today. So gel plate out, I did set up in my studio with a fan going and rolling out some paint onto the plate. And I don't know about you if you use a jelly plate. It always takes me time to kind of get into the swing of it, and a few tries to try and achieve what I want to achieve by experimenting. And I take this further because, and well, this is what happens when you're open to errors, let's say. I get some quite nice prints out. This is one of them. But then I don't, which you see, but I build up some collage papers which get some interesting effects, interesting marks. Some of them work, some of them don't. But what is the most interesting thing about this video is, which you'll see later on after I've made some collage papers, is that it leads me onto something else, which is, if you're open and in experimental mode, often happens. Call it intuitively, call it trial and error, call it whatever you like, but I think the moral of the story is just to start something and it will always lead somewhere. So I'm using the same colour palette that I used in my paintings. If you remember, I was working on 4 paintings at the same time. So I'm sticking to that colour palette of, I think it's a quinacridone magenta, this pale blue and a pale purple, and I come in later with this beautiful, I love this colour, gold green. So there we go. Some good effects, some not so good effects, but what I've learned with jelly printing is that you need to build them up, and I'm not very patient with it because I see people artists on YouTube videos and things that have got the patience to leave the paper on to dry. And even though it was a very, very hot day here in France, and I know in Europe and in the UK, we've all been having this heat wave. And even though things are drying a lot quicker, I still haven't got the patience to wait. I just like to keep moving on, and well, let's say that's when the happy accidents happen and discoveries too. So bear in mind that I had in the back of my mind, because I said in the intro that I planned on making some collage papers and maybe possibly print with the gel plate straight onto the canvas. That's in fact where I do end up going, but how do I get to that? How do I get to that point is when I start adding a colour that kind of inspires me, influences me, lights me up, excites me. That's probably the word I'm looking for. It excites me enough to want to get that colour straight onto the canvas. And well, what is that colour? Well, it's not just one colour. In fact, it was two colours that I mixed. Those colours being that green gold, and I added a titanium buff. I think it's a titanium buff, some sort of really pale whitey cream. And well, that got me wanting to dive straight onto the canvas and kind of put the collage papers to one side. So that's what I do here. I go and grab my canvas, well, one of the canvases from before, and I did put some books underneath the canvas to get the hard surface. And well, I just wanted to get that colour down there. I wanted to print that on, monoprint it on, and see what happened. So to be honest, the results weren't astonishing. I thought I would get a much bigger transfer of the colour, and well, here I try to reprint to try and get more paint onto the canvas, but still not a great transfer. So what do? Well, first of all, I try and get collage paper out of it, not wanting to waste the paint. And here I do actually leave the paper on the plate because I've moved on to something different. And I wanted to get this colour down too, which was another discovery along the way, mixing those three now colours, the light turquoise, the green gold, and the, I want to say titanium buff, but I want to say titanium buff. I'm not sure if it was exactly that colour, but I am going in now in between those blank kind of spaces, negative spaces, let's call them, where the green goldy colour didn't cover. And this makes for quite an interesting effect. I love this colour, And well, like we do, I went a bit crazy with it and started adding it everywhere, which at the time I didn't really plan any outcome other than really enjoying this colour and getting carried away with it. But the amazing thing is that when you're adding layers like this, a few layers on this painting now, and as you can see in that top corner already, you can still see that pink coming through, and I wanted to work with that as well, bring back some of that. And I am thinking contrasts, all this being intuitive, but of course it's in the back of your mind all the time. Can't help it, can you? And I couldn't find my squirty bottle because I wanted to pull some of that paint I just put on off, and I couldn't find my squirty bottle, so I just kind of poured some water on and seen what happens. I'm scraping with my fingernail or thumbnail to try and pull some of that paint off. Then adding more paint. So these techniques of adding and taking away, and I think that taking away sometimes is as important as adding. Just very gently tapping on with my fingertips. And still at this point, not decided which way up this painting's going to go. Using my roller now to cover even more of the canvas and the layers already down, not forgetting the edges. So now I've gone all in with this favourite colour that I had on my brush roller, and so I decided to go back in with this scrapey tool and the magenta, the quinacridone magenta, mixed I think with some of that colour that's already on my palette. And I'm still between, I'm thinking, am I going to make this into flowers or am I going to make it into landscape? I still don't know, but both of them are there. I just want to see what comes out. What is it going to turn into? We'll see. And this is all I'm thinking at the minute. Just keep going. Just I'm in the flow here. I really am in the flowy session. Where intuition takes over and you grab what you're feeling drawn to, you just squirt it on this quite decent amount of paint. Now just rolling it on here and there, just seeing what happens. What if I do that? What if I try that there? And what I said before about paint on and off, I've got the other end of my paintbrush here, I think, just scraping in, creating some different type of marks. Oh, it's a pen. It's a pen top. Just why? Just because it was there. And I didn't have to stop to look for anything. It was there, I saw it, I grabbed it. Here I grab a bigger brush. Again, it was there in front of me. Going in with that lovely creamy colour again. And all these colours are mixing on my palette, so they've all got each other mixed in with them, if you know what I mean. Oh, I got some, oh, that brush was straight out of a water jar, so it's all wet. In fact, it was runny with water. You can see how it's the water glistening, how it's running. Like I said, couldn't find my water bottle. It doesn't matter. I just grabbed the brush out of the jar of water and used that to create an effect. Still in the mode of on and off, I grab some tissue and start dabbing that off. Start dabbing that on to take off paint again. Same thing with this scrapey. I'm adding paint and then I'm scraping off, adding and scraping off. Scraping up in one place, adding it somewhere else. Oh, that's the bit where I had the tip of the paintbrush. I knew I'd used it somewhere. But I just love these moments when you're really in the flow and magical things happen. I think just by being free and playful and experimental, some wonderful things happen. Well, I think this painting has come on leaps and bounds since when you saw back in the introduction, and well, you see at the end when I put it back with the 3 of the paintings that I'm hopefully going to get to work on in the same way. It'll be so interesting to see if I can do that. But I really enjoyed this session. And the fine for me, I don't know about you, let me know. Let me know in the comments if it works for you, these kind of crazy energy bursts really work well for me. That's another discovery that I've been making recently. So in the end, it took me to landscape, took me to abstract landscape. For this one, maybe one of the other three will go the floral route. We'll see, but I am liking how this one turned out. It's very interesting visually. And the feeling to me is one of my intentions in this ongoing series of being atmospheric. Well, that was fun, and well, I'm not going to do any more to this now. I'll let it stand a while and we'll see if I want to do anything else. I'm quite liking it as it is. Let's look with the other ones how it's changed. Look at that. Of course, not working on them as one anymore, splitting them up, but yeah, quite liking it. You can see where I pulled back the gold leaf, and I'm happy. I'm hot, but I'm happy. You can see how one thing can lead to another. I really made that colour discovery that I really wanted to get onto the canvas and work more into it. I'm hot. I'm gonna have to go. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe. Lots of people watch and not even subscribe, so please, if you can, then please do that, and I will see you next time for another video, hopefully a bit cooler. Bye for now. Au revoir.